Page here, doing a review of the ADE red dot sights. I'm going to do a little series of reviews on some of the equipment we've been using to do two-gun, the little stuff we use at Desert Brutality. We actually have two of these. They're both on Glocks. Glock 19, the Glock 34 with a 17 slide on it. Talk about the other stuff later. Specifically right now, I'm talking about these two red dots. They're a very cheap red dot. They're about $100. I think on the manufacturer's site they're $109. Pick them up for a little bit less than that. Let's go ahead and take a closer look. Alright, so here is a nice close-up of that sight. This is the ADE Stingray. It is kind of a small sight. This one is on the RMR pattern, so it fits RMR mountings. There's a good view of the dot. Of note, they also make ADE Spike, this is essentially a version of that one. It was originally made for the RMS pattern, which is a very small sight. You can see on a slide that's cut for an RMR, the little gap right there at the back. It does not fill the entire space, which did lead to some concerns that, hey, it's not as well supported as it would be otherwise. But these have seen quite a bit of use. We use these for a whole bunch of two-gun matches. Use them for Desert Brutality, all 3 days of it. And they stayed on. They've taken a decent bit of abuse. This one on the 19 here saw probably more. It was in the holster. My partner fell off the water tank at Desert Brutality. Get that to focus properly. Focus. But dot is still working good. A lot of the ADE sights include little iron sight dots built onto them, not just the ones on the really small ones. Even the ones that are the full-size RMR pattern that actually fills that entire slot, they still have little iron sights on it, which I kind of like. If you're really using a really cheap sight, you're probably going to want that. You know, I feel like always got that chance the thing's going to break. You know, I have not tried doing things like the way some people do, where they'll hug a gun across the room, drop it from shoulder height onto the sight. Yeah, I mean, I'm not feeling that, and I can't really afford to break one. But there's a lot of little scuffing and stuff from use. Other than that, they are holding up fine. They are not labeled as being waterproof. And looking at the bottom, there's a little rubber gasket on the bottom. So they should be splash resistant, but I wouldn't be willing to trust one of these actually submerged in the water. These are both sort where you have to take the sight off in order to change the battery. But this one I changed the battery just because I had the thing off recently. This one still has the original battery. It's been in it for the last several months. Still going fine. These are always-on dots, which is to say they have a auto-adjust feature. So in a darker room, it turns down the brightness. You put away in a case where it's completely dark. It uses almost no battery power. It does not have shake awake. That's its way of conserving power. Still should last a very long time, and it has lasted so far. You can see on the camera it's a very crisp dot, and it will line up basically right with the iron sights. And the iron sights line up pretty well with the target. It has held zero through all our use. We have little witness marks on the screws. With a bit of Loctite on there, they have not drifted at all. The screws that came with the sights were too long for the recessed mounting that we have on this slide here. But screws came with the slide that did fit and work well with the sight. all in all, I'm pretty happy with these as a cheap item. They have worked, they've held zero, sight stays on all the time, the brightness is good. The Stingray, the one with the RMR cut, nominally has a 6 MOA dot. Oddly, what is apparently the same dot with a different mounting pin, the RMS mountain, the ADE Spike, says it has a 4 MOA dot. I haven't tried one of those. I don't have an RMS. When you buy a pre-cut slide for a Glock, basically everyone on the market is an RMR cut. So that's what we have. And as a budget red dot, these have been very, very good. No complaints. I will probably do some additional videos coming up. Talk about the slide we have here. Talk about this barrel that we have on my partner's gun. Those are for future days.